Thanks, Magic ISO Man.
Matt,
Yeah.
someone here says, I recently adopted a puppy and I'm having a rough time with feeling frustrated on training.
I feel you.
For the dog owners, any good advice?
As you show off all your battle wounds.
Yeah, have thick skin. Good advice. The best advice I can give is consistency. I mean, we're learning as we go, right? So I don't feel like I have expertise with which to work here. But consistency. If you're getting bit all the time, the moment teeth touch skin, separate yourself from the puppy. She will quickly learn. Deny attention. You need to teach them that they don't get attention for biting you. You want to make your presence as interesting and happy to them as possible. So, like for recall training, you need to be the most interesting thing in the room. Lots of good treats, lots of positive, positive reinforcement. I don't know. I mentioned the other day that I have treats pouring out of every pocket because I have treats on me at all times. But basically, you want to be at a puppy age. You want to be working on building a bonding relationship between you and your puppy, and teaching them the behaviors you want as you go. So, rewarding what you want to see all the time. There's no need to punish them.
Yeah.
You want to you want to be
all carrot, no stick.
All carrot, no stick, with the sole exception of something that's life-threatening. If they do something life-threatening, a physical correction is okay, but a physical correction in this case is pulling them away from the thing and redirecting them to something else. You don't hit them, you don't physically punish them, you don't lock them up in a crate or anything like this. You just you want to encourage them to do the behaviors that you want them to do, and the more you encourage them and the more you reinforce the behaviors that you want to see, the more quickly they will start to figure it out. But mostly it's patience, right? Mostly it's patience. I am covered in battle wounds because Maple has a taste for human flesh. And our approach to it is when she bites, we move out of the way so that she can't bite us anymore. And after 20 or 30 seconds of having no attention, she is told to sit, rewarded for sitting, and then given a toy. So that the thing that we are doing is reinforcing the behaviors we want to see. You want to make sure that you're not doing things like accidentally reinforcing bad behaviors, if your dog is biting you, just immediately shoving a toy in their mouth, because then they can get the idea that if I bite you, I get a toy, which is great. So you want to be which is bad. You don't want that. So you do things like if they bite you, you remove attention, wait for them to settle down, then have them do something you want them to do, and then reward them for that. And they get the picture pretty quickly.
I am grinning so much because everything you've been saying, I've just been thinking that you've been giving advice on how to deal with a Twitch chat.
Advice I have definitely not taken with my own.
Give them a treat, make sure that they don't do anything untowards.
Yeah.
Did they do something wrong? Do not physically correct them. Instead, ignore them. Then when they do a good thing, then they can have attention again.
Yeah. And a treat.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe a treat.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing that I like that you and Meg have been doing is strong consistency on that. When I was a child, my dogs were never properly trained because certain members of the family just decided to ignore all of the training and do whatever the heck they felt like.
Yeah.
And the dogs would then just not get consistent results because of that.
Yeah. Before Maple came into the home, Meg and I sat down and talked through our ground rules about what are the things that are allowed, what are the things that are not allowed. The other thing, somebody in chat after the 6:30 donation thing happened, the photo started going, mentioned why is the puppy in a cage? Well, the puppy is not in a cage. It looks like a cage because it's a wire crate.
Yeah.
But dogs are den animals, and they like to have an enclosed space that's safe, that's their own, that they can go to, that they know is secure. And so Meg and I set up a crate in our apartment, and we put a blanket around it. So on 3 sides, it looks enclosed, and we have a schedule for her.
Yeah.
So she naps for 2 hours and then comes out and gets to be with us for an hour, and then she naps for 2 hours and so on. But we put up quite a lot of work, and thankfully she took to it very quickly, but we put a lot of work into training her into the crate so that she has positive associations for being in the crate.
Right.
So when she goes into the crate, she gets treats, she gets pets, she gets a little bit of attention when she goes in.
Yeah.
It's not a punishment.
It's not a punishment.
Yeah.
She has like a big plush golden retriever toy in there that she can snuggle with. She has a couple of other toys that she can occupy herself with if necessary. But the upside to that is she has taken to it, and she regards it as being like, oh, this is my safe place. This is the place
Okay.
where I sleep and where I
Yeah,
nap
yeah, yeah.
And that I like. And, sometimes she doesn't want to go in, but you can coax her in. But the important thing is, like, we don't shove her in unless there's an emergency. We sort of let her go in. And
Yeah.
she has positive associations with it. She likes it in there. She's chill in there. And when she's in there, we don't have to be watching her. So we can, like, go to the coffee shop and get a coffee and come back.
Yeah.
And it helps us train her not to have separation anxiety, because we can put her in another room in a safe place that we know she likes and that she's happy and comfortable. And we can work for a couple hours or whatever, and she's perfectly content. But that way we can still sort of like have a bit of a life and leave her alone a little bit and let her know that when she is alone, she's safe and we're coming back. So
I agree with Julie. I want a crate now.
I know, right? It's quite nice. So
Crab Rangoon.
I do recommend crate training. I hadn't done it with my previous dogs. We just had sort of like a penned off area where the dogs went, but my experience with crate training so far has been awesome. So if you haven't been crate training your puppy, it's never too late to start.
Nice.